We have a series on our hands. Not going to be over in 2 this one. It looks like Misfits are back. Overpass was all theirs. The first map, of course, was Cobble. That went EnVyUs' way after what could have been the turnaround for Misfits in the end, but it did eventually go EnVyUs' way. But yeah, we're going to map 3 now. Train between these two, and we certainly have a series on our hands.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is incredibly interesting considering that the big upset of yesterday was KPI besting EnVyUs here on Train. So now it comes down to the same map for the decider of an elimination game.
Yeah, this could get fun, couldn't it?
Yep.
EnVy, good luck. You've got to bring a very strong game on this. You've proven before that there are weaknesses, and this lineup doesn't look as strong as it once was. I don't know what's gone on with them. I don't know if they're just in a bit of a slump, just not feeling it right now, if it's still like in that kind of building back into it sort of phase where they're trying to get everything working again, but they've got to speed it up. I don't know. There's a lot going on with this team. We watch them play, and it's just a little frustrating to watch because they've got such high caliber players. They're such good players, and they have everyone wanting them to do well, but just falls a little flat sometimes. And Misfits, on the other hand, that overpass game was great from them. Brilliant shown. A lot of ability there. So we are back, waiting for the players to sit themselves down. I think waiting on the final member, or no, final 2 members from EnVy to rejoin us.
I think that individual play was really kind of the name of the game for both teams start on each of their maps, right? Obviously, EnVyUs having picked Cobblestone come blaring out of the gates, and then the same can be said just now on Overpass with Amanek and Shazam really leading the charge. I think that you kind of alluded to it throughout the match, and I'd like to reiterate it. It's nice to see that Shazam had that much of an impact because he was kind of the linchpin in that one when it came down to it. His A-site op presence was just constantly peppering EnVyUs as they tried to get closer to that bomb site. And that's one thing that they weren't really able to do, was overwhelm him and counter him with those grenades. Even up close, when we see them kind of, creep through the smoke in the last few seconds, Shazam's still able to get 1 or 2 kills in those moments. And that's something that versus Heroic, he could not do whatsoever. I guess that actually is even more interesting. We see, of course, now Misfits with a win on Overpass, having lost yesterday versus Heroic. I had forgotten about that. So good on them to be able to bounce back, still have the confidence not to stray to a different map, but rather hold their ground.
To be fair, Heroic, as I said, play a completely different brand of CS, and they are damn good at it too. They play the kind of supreme tactics, a lot of ability, all combined into one. A lot happens here. So we are waiting on 1 more player, I'm pretty sure. We actually might be ready to go pretty soon between these two. Not sure what the hold-up is. Just getting things ready. Having a little chat in French. My GCSE level French did not go too well. Où est la bibliothèque? My accent is, again, flawless. Anyone French can appreciate that. But yeah, we are waiting on actually one of the Misfit players now. So I'm curious as to what's going down. If we can get an update, that'd be cool. Just to
They're asking each other what the commands are.
That's useful.
Yeah.
You saw commands. That's cheating.
I'm from Montreal.
That's cheating. You saw the word command. You're like, yeah, we're talking about commands.
Well, I mean, you just add an E to it, right? That's all it is. It's like trying to speak Spanish here in Valencia. Yeah. I feel like I ultimately just end up speaking French to the locals. Yeah,
I default to German.
Yeah.
Because I live in Germany, so it's just like, oh yeah, danke.
It's just like not English, right?
What's wrong with me?
But it doesn't end up working.
Yeah.
It doesn't get us far.
This is nichts good. But we are waiting for 1 player to rejoin us who's just having a couple of FPS issues, so hopefully that's going to be fixed up pretty soon. But yeah, we can have a little chat about this map because, well, we've seen that Sixer was a little quiet on Overpass. He did not have a big game. And the man on your screen right now, Shazam, he did. And AWPers on this map can be pretty integral to a lot of what goes down, to say the very least. It's one of those maps where 1 good AWPer can make a hell of a lot of difference. Now, EnVy, you throw your mind back to that KPI game, they were playing very aggressive, very, not like disrespectful, but they played to their own skill level, or tried to, right, which is fine. But it still was just a little too much, and they got punished for it. There's some nice CT-sided aggression in there, I like that, but to a certain amount. And RPK, of course, on the other side, he needs a big performance from himself to try and counterbalance a lot of what's been hindering EnVy.
I think RPK is actually one of the better, if not best, B-site players on train.
Yeah.
I love the way that he uses the top of the trains and uses that verticality. He never really seems to shy away from the bomb site because he just has so much confidence in the players that are behind him. One of those players that never just kind of gives up their own in order to keep themselves alive, and that's really beautiful to always watch.
If you are wondering, the knife round has started, so it means we are just a couple of seconds away. All the issues are resolved. You can just have a look through the players and their stats so far, at least in the last game. Happy, quiet as well. Not exactly what you want to be seeing from this man. If he can find his role, things start to look a little better. But overall, Envy needing a lot to go right here for themselves. Looking a little shaken. Right now, down to a 2v2 in the knife, so quite an important one for these guys. And it looks like Envy at the moment, as they do have 2 players to just Shazam, might be getting it, and they have. They did win the knife there, so Envy do get to pick side. And I wonder where they go on this. I think they're going to stay CT. I think they last time went over to the T side. That obviously didn't go too well. So maybe stick it out on this and give it a good shot, give it a run through, and just try and keep Misfits down. But these guys, I'm starting to believe that Misfits have a little bit of a shot at this one, more than I thought at the start of the game. I thought it was going to go towards Envy's way. I thought they'd recovered. I saw the start they got on Cobble. It was all looking good. Scream was coming in hot, and then it fizzled down. Then you look at Overpass, and you see the resurgence from Misfits coming back into this. Not going to let themselves slip out of this tournament just yet. But they need everything to go right. They need Sean Gares to be quick, smart, intelligent like he normally is. Shazam needs to be on that orb and feeling it. Same can be said for Sick. He needs a good game. Amanek, Devadudek, they need to be there as well. So everything's got to be in the right place. Otherwise, Envy can just play their game and grind it out. But here we go. We'll find out how this unravels. Who will be moving forward and who falls at this point.
Double smoke to the Misfits side with a Molotov as well. Happy gets aggressive towards box halls, just looks to spot some targets, but looks like Misfits are going to set the pinch, as we will have Amanek to the top of the ladder and now Sean rotating back to set his smoke. So because the counter-terrorists don't push out towards Ivy, they have no clue what's coming their way.
6 for an XMS are the other 2. On this side, gonna see at least one cross. I don't know how much he's seen here, but 3 players gonna make their way up. Nice little bit of a setback there. Misfits gonna force him away down towards old bomb train. 4 HP just about makes it away, but Happy falls in the meantime. This is a very nice, concise hit coming through the Misfits side. They're just applying pressure throughout. Scream tries to make it away, but he can't get away. Sean catches him in the heels and drags him down the ladder. It's RPK in the 1v3. Don't put it past him. This guy can deliver, but it's not gonna be easy.
No, certainly not. At least 2 players are already tagged to sub 50 health, and he actually hits the headshot onto Devaduvic. That was the man with the most HP. So suddenly, RPK with a bit more of a chance here. Now, of course, unfortunately for him, these terrorists are in 2 separate spots, and Sean Gares is actually going to go for the long con. He's going all the way back round ladder. Of course, RPK spotted him go the connectors, so this could be the play. Even if it's not, the time is ticking ever so quickly. RPK taps it once. He's getting baited. He's getting dealt with, as Misfits will find themselves that opening pistol. It's EnVyUs to the back foot. And honestly, when you think of the T side of Train already, this is a fantastic start for them to have.
Yeah, big stuff coming in. And it was just the hit, how well coordinated it was. The kind of crunch came at the right time, didn't it? As soon as you apply pressure to one, that's a shot and a half. At that point, one of the players did make it towards the smoke there, comes back through, delivers again. So, very well played to Misfits. I liked their mentality towards it. Now, look at this buy. 3 rifles coming up early. Galil on Shazam. 2 SMGs, but it's a UMP still on Amanek. But the MAC-10's coming back in. You know, it's back in fashion. It's like all those 80s outfits that you borrow from your parents, or actually just your own because you're old. And they're just, it's come back around. You know, the other SMGs, they're having their time in the sun. Nice little throwback. And now the B hit comes in for the T side. Gonna try and get that bomb planted. Nice approach. Gets a little bit tricky when you still have pistols on this sort of site, but they're keeping them at range. They're playing it smart. They're still using their utility to deny any map control to play in.
Yeah, properly playing the high ground as well, just keeping to the top of the trains and forcing EnVyUs underneath their boots. Scream continues to tap off the CZ, but Shazam will find the best of him. So empty-handed is EnVyUs, unless Sixer can get some kind of an exit frag here. Very nicely converted by Misfits. That's something that they were struggling on with Overpass. Every single time after that opening pistol, they'd try to get to the bomb sites. They'd lose 4 players in the process. even just losing one of the rounds straight up. So nice to see a clean conversion of once. Sure enough, Shazam will go down as he tries to lurk out, and that's a Galil in the hands of Sixer. Could have been better, could have been worse.
He does get to keep it, even better. Good stuff. Shazam, though, I don't know how much he's got left over in the bank at the moment. He might just be dropped over to the Mac-10 or just a pistol, something a little light. But this is his work early on. Gets himself in here. RPK was the one on the site. And yeah, that's Shazam finding him too. Aggressively pushing in. Good stuff from Shazam. He actually goes on to the rifle, so maybe not too fussed about getting the AWP out early. He's more than happy just to grind it through, get the rounds on the board. That's all that really matters. And Amanek is right out there. The UMP is being unleashed in his hands, but there's players behind him as well. DreamHack needs to help him out, but he can't get there in time. There's no one to support him. It's all a little bit one way. This gets a bit scary now, but there's 3 players working their way through Ivy. You should be able to tip the scales here, but Scream with some lovely work, and DreamHack helps out by taking out Sick. What is going on here? This round's gone from something that could be brilliant and clean to very messy, and Sixer gonna stir the pots as DreamHack surely to be caught in the heels.
Oh my goodness, EnVyUs off of a single Galil. And 4 pistols are able to make that happen. Unfortunately for Misfits, they just fumbled that clean start that they almost got. Can't help but feel like I just brought this up and now suddenly it's occurred yet again. So unfortunate for Misfits, but at least they still had enough cash to go into the buy, right? That's not going to cost them. They're not going to just go straight back into SMGs. It's that one deagle for Shazam, though, as he was caught out in both of those rounds. The only man to fall. The man who gave Sixer his Galil. The very Galil that has been moved forward into this one, coupled with a nice bit of utility. And all the M4s in the world.
Now, surely Misfits will not be caught off by this. This was, oh my god, Exeter still lands the shot. That's the impressive part. He's trying to back away. 20 HP is kind of tough. There's not too many places you can find. But he's got a nice little angle, but checked on by Shazam. He wants to make up for any lackings in the last couple of rounds, and they are picking up the pace here, Misfits.
3v3, T-side just trying to get in here, but RPK still on the bomb site in a crucial position as Sixer takes the headshot onto Shazam. The bomb's still behind, and that's where Sean reveals himself, able to swing it back to just happy 1v2. He's gonna creep his way through the smoke, though. He's gonna try to catch the off angle. He's spotted, he is dealt with, and there we go. Misfits able to bounce back, and more importantly, get that economic struggle into the hands of Envy. Shazam with a great deagle frag, and just a great opening altogether. Through the smoke. Style points here for Misfits.
Yeah, the important fact in my eyes with this one is the fact that they were aware of that CT side aggression that Envy love to do, that double push towards connector. And has Sean broken his chair? Sean is just on that Gaines life, you know what I mean? He's living the dream. I'm not sure what the issue is. It is a tech pause though, so that'll be fixed up soon. But yeah, we can go back to them being aware of that being a possibility, that there would be that push towards that connector. It was something that KPI fell foul to a couple of times, but they came back into it. They had aggression of their own. So, yeah, it wasn't the end of the world for them.
They dropped water.
Are you serious?
According to chat.
Sean.
Yeah.
Sean. Knees weak, arms spaghetti. What is going on? He's wiping himself down at this point. Just, it's warm here in Valencia, but you don't need to just drench yourself with water. Just chill it out a little bit. You'll be fine. This is just very sweaty. Actually, no, to be fair, the aircon here is actually incredibly good. Like, I don't feel the heat right now. It's actually really impressive.
Every time you walk into the door as well, it just hits you in the face, but
yeah.
Can't complain. It's glorious here.
Yeah, it's a solid, I think, like 28, 30 degrees right now, and it just feels nice and cool. But yeah, a little bit of a timeout just to get themselves, fixed up. Hopefully now everything's good. We'll be jumping back into this one once Sean Gare stops dribbling his drink all over the place. A genius in-game, not so much out of game. I'm kidding. He's back in-game. Look at this guy getting everyone pumped up and ready for this round. We do have Envy with a little bit of something to work with. And that's mostly Sixer with the AWP, bit of a UMP, deagle or two. Envy were able to make these rounds count against KPI, but I think that was more KPI not being used to how Envy like to do this. I don't think Misfits will be caught off guard. So, bit of a different look here.
Sixer's AWP actually managed this, though. That's going to be a huge pressure for him to have to play off of. Of course, he's still on that A bomb site. And again, Misfits, very similar to their pistol round, just set up the player Amanek towards the top of ladder and then shift the entirety of their attention back towards. But you're right, EnVyUs going to get aggressive. We saw this yesterday. Happy.
And the boost. I love it.
Oh, so clean. Perfect distraction, bait and switch, great frag, gets them another gun. So now the op of Sixers is not the only one.
No, it's very nicely done between those two. Something they do on a regular basis. But Sixers in no man's land. This is where it gets scary, because that happens. Shazam finds the timing to make him uncomfortable. He knows how that feels. He's an all for himself. But now RPK wants to stop it before it starts. The old bomb train, is that where he can find it? No, DreamHack finds the work he needs. And again, this guy, his aim is crisp. And Shazam expecting the play coming in through connector, as Scream now left in somewhat of an impossible situation with just a P250. Unless he catches someone off guard and the situation spirals from there, this should all be but over, and it should be a 4-1 at the end of this 20 seconds.
Yeah, he's been spotted. He's done now. Try to retrieve one of those weapons and maybe walk away. Attempt an exit. But either way, it's going to be a round for Misfits. And Shazam gets himself that op, which is obviously crucial. I like to see that aggression from RPK and Happy over towards the Brown Halls. Again, they started to use that about halfway through their CT side yesterday versus KPI. At first, it was more aggression towards the inside of T-Con, over towards Ivy, and then when that wasn't working, we saw EnVyUs really put the pressure on both, again, Happy and RPK towards B. This time it works out. If only that gun was able to maybe drop down ladder, get more impactful towards the bomb site, or if Sixer even could find safety. But as you said, made uncomfortable by Shazam, who dropped the op, the open A bomb site, and then the round on the board for Misfits. 3-point lead as they start to re-secure themselves the momentum.
And DreamHack is just impressing me a hell of a lot. This guy is just so crisp with the way he plays. You saw it through Overpass as well. He was getting some really big shots through. So if he's just having one of those games where it's just like your aim's on point, he's been putting in his hours, just like, all right, let's go. You can go for aggressive plays like this. You're not feeling held back. Just take the fight. Spots out one. Molly goes in. He's going through those motions there. Now, a couple of players slip away. Spots another towards Ivy. Let's actually just stick on board with this guy. See how it unravels. I'm kind of curious if he gets this. Spins it around, and I speak of his aim, and it disappears. Screams, though, stands up to the challenge. 3 kills. Eyeing up more. Wanting more. He wants to do it all himself. But XMS might be the one to get into the action here. Shouldn't be an escape for Shazam. There isn't. And it's all Scream pretty much at this point. Amanek, you're not going to be able to get out of this alive. Not at all. Sixer is there. Scream finally puts his foot down.
Crucial play from Scream. And honestly, when you have a player who can perform in those kinds of moments, you literally have one gun on the bomb site. You have one gun in the entire round. And it gets 2 quick headshots and then that third. I mean, DreamHack, with those Molotovs over towards connector and the back of ladder side, sure enough, those pistols weren't able to come into play, so Scream was very much isolated. He had to step up, and he did. Proving his value.
A little bit of leftover cash in the Misfits' pockets. Going to put a little bit of money towards DreamHack, Sick, and Shazam. So you got decent rifles on them, some utility. Amanek and Sean going to be sadly receiving the messier end of the stick on this, but still. Another play towards Ivy. Who's going to be on the other side of that? Sixer normally plays it, and it will be Sixer there with that orb. So, eyes trained, sees a pixel out of place. You'll imagine a shot will follow soon. There it is, but no connection. They make it away scot-free.
He's not going to re-peek that whatsoever, because now at this point, Shazam's posted on it, and he wants it. So Misfits, after not seeing that repeat, continue to go through the motions.
Not much given away yet, but you can see them kind of getting into some spots just with Amanek down here by Pop, and they've got Sean Guest slowly working up. And essentially for Sean, he's tradable. He might get a tag, which is great. Any more is a bonus, but you just want to trade into it well. And actually, Six is very isolated. He's very alone here. And now he's in trouble. Here comes the flood. Sean goes down, but he was always meant to be traded. But where is it? Sixer gets to back away. Frustration as Happy is now there as well. Amanek gets mollied off, flashed out as well. He can try and make a play finally, but it's just him and Sick. And there's a lot of players staring them down.
Now it's just Sick, of course. And he's able to get something to play off of. Still, though, RPK rotates in and grabs himself the second frag. So EnVyUs now bouncing back with a breath of life. 2 consecutive rounds, no further the reset. But great stuff by Sixer to reposition, falls back behind the toolbox, gets himself another frag. Made sure to stay prevalent over towards that Ivy side. And it works out, not only in the sense that EnVyUs get themselves the 3rd round on the board, but possibly and probably the 4th as well. Just pistols for Misfits. A smidgen of utility already thrown out over towards connector side. RPK again, this B site anchor, as Misfits are just going to go up to the heavens to fall on in.
Yep, drop down, they're out. Bomb plant is again the main focus. He's got his bodyguards around him, and Sick will get the bomb plant. Yeah, that's not bad though. Sean and Sick gonna get kills coming in. What's going on? Sick with the rifle as well. Oh, the deny from Shazam. This is massive for Misfits. Sixer, you might want to consider saving because they have this one under wraps. No armor, barely anything to work with, and they still get around on the board.
I can't help but feel like that smoke grenade from Sean just prevented the rotation for at least just that moment. So sure enough, those 2 frags, they forfeit the bomb plant, and then RPK just wants to kind of, you know, scuttle it after that. But it's Sick who can not only get that first kill, but more importantly, his hands immediately on the AK. I mean, a game of seconds really there, because by the time the CTs do get up close, there's already players breathing down their necks, and not just with Tech 9s, not just with P250s, but full-fledged rifles at that point. And Misfits are able to work a miracle, similarly to the way that Mr. Scream locked down the A-bomb site. All it takes is one player to step up, and this time around it's Sick.
I guess the saying is true, when it rains it pours. And, well, Misfits ensuring Envy know that when it is going to go wrong, you're going to feel it. And again, this B hit could be coming out. Yeah, RPK put to task. They're going to run through the molly. The smoke's not on. That's a real problem here. They've just kind of forgotten this round. Envy know that pretty much that was an all-in play from Misfits. And sadly, it sounded like the molly went out, but it was still on the other side. DreamHack taking a heavy hit from it. Sean a little tickle as well, and they don't have any map control elsewhere.
Well, they don't have map control. Luckily, EnVyUs haven't pushed up over towards Ivy side either, so they definitely have an idea as to this. But at least there's no player just kind of creeping around these corners and preventing Misfits from attempting something else. I mean, they still have the utility to go for some sort of a play. Single smoke could be used over towards Ivy. Smoke off the left, Molotov close right. You give yourself a bit of a room to fight with. You can pinch that over towards T-Con as well, where Shazam has now been spotted and dropped to 1/3 his health. He wants to fight, and he's able to actually come out on top here. Headshot connects versus Scream. Now again, the utility could be enough to play into this bomb site. A bomb plant at this point would be fantastic because, of course, if we do watch Misfits lose this, it's going to be that hard reset.
XMS though plays it in so well. Great read on the timing. And now Shazam left with 33 HP and 4 to find. 20 seconds. Wants to make it costly maybe, but the cost of his own life probably at this point. Unless he finds a way out somehow. No, RPK not going to let it happen, and Envy right back into it.
RPK is just always playing on top of trains, whether that be over towards the B-bomb site to actually hold ramp. This time, of course, we see him fall off right before as the fire plumes. But even when he rotates over to the A site, I love players who actually sit on the bomb site or just kind of wrap around it. It's such an open piece of cover, and you can really kind of, you know, section off the executions. If you have somebody like XMS who can stop over on Ivy, well, then you can just so easily peek to a different angle from that spot from RPK. So well done. Does force Misfits back to the force buy. The double AK and AWP is in play.
Yeah, there is firepower there. Those rifles and that AWP with Shazam are the main brunt of this. Again, playing down by Ivy. Bombs there as well with DreamHack, so gotta be careful with that. Don't want to lose it there needlessly. Sixers could be forced away, and they've kind of doubled up their numbers here. They've put XMS a little bit closer this time, not fully leaving it all in just the hands of Sixer. But it looks like a crunch towards A is going to come in pretty soon. Lovely little flash. Big fan of that. Shazam, though. Plenty of time to come out of it. And here comes the smoke. This might even encourage the hit to start building now. Molly to follow. Sixer tries to stick on the angle. He can't stay around for long. Has to fall off this now. And Scream wants to find a way back into this round.
Bomb retreating fully at this point, so
Info.
EnVyUs. Yep. Info from T-Con. Well done. Scream up close. So now EnVyUs, despite that utility usage, they're just starting to put their players further towards B. Misfits haven't pulled the trigger yet, so more time bought, but RPK gets aggressive and it costs him.
Yeah, Six gonna spot out Happy as well. Who was that quick rotate? That little bit of information trickled through really well, but Envy can't stop it. That info that Scream got, that hey, there's no one in con, there's no one here. We can rotate, we can lighten it up. Didn't matter. Bomb's gonna go in 5 alive as well for Misfits. Nice late round calls coming out. Good pressure applied as soon as that first pick is made. And Sick playing in towards RPK then on B was very, very impressive.
Poor EnVyUs going to get reset economically yet once more. I mean, this to me is just reminiscent versus KPI, where EnVyUs are able to win these miraculous rounds off of individual play, but then also kind of forfeit over ones that should be much easier of a feat.
Yep.
KPI gave them a chance in that first half as well by getting reset time and time again, by losing man advantage. And it seems like Misfits, they've got them by the jugular and they're not letting go. At least not yet. But this has been momentum back and forth. I mean, only the 1 point difference. 2 now, of course, but still. Great start to the T side regardless. Even if EnVyUs turn this around and get that 9-6 half, Misfits have done their job.
Yeah, no, they're a really good point now. As long as you get yourself a bit of a buffer, you're feeling fine about it, and that's all you can ask for at this point. And Misfits are putting up a nice show on their T side. That's the thing, it's a good showing for what I'd expect. You've got some nice individual play, a good kind of round out of ability as a team, as a collective too. It's not just that kind of solo sort of effort that can come in every now and then, especially on T sides, but no, it is all across the board. This is like somewhat the same default coming out here. Nothing too crazy going on, but Scream still able to provide so much info there. No one's really punishing this yet. It's kind of hard to, but see if he gets caught out if they do eventually go towards A. There is still those 2 players by Ivy as well. They could happily split through by the old bomb train, go down through CT, and then kind of crunch towards B if those 3 do succeed. But a lot of opportunity still there with Misfits in this game.
Happy's in a good spot to maybe pluck one as well off the back of the box halls where the bomb does sit. So again, that double op setup making an appearance for EnVyUs. Will it pan out? Regardless of Happy's shot, there is that player up close as well. Nobody over towards ramp, just forfeiting that one over. And now starting to shift Sixer closer. He's going to play over towards Old Bomb, so he could be the fast CT rotate if need be.
But this is going to be quite a late hit. Like, look at the other 2 players. You've still got... I guess Shazam's finally got there, but Happy's being baited into this. But look at RPK, taking matters into his own hands, and it slips through them. He lets it go. Amanek comes up, and he gets everything they need. It's down to 3 players now for EnVy, and this could be a retake with double AWP.
Awesome late lurk from DreamHack as well. He catches that flank, so double op setup. Do you just go for the save? It's such a large investment, and it could just be used up in the next. Shazam already posted for the angle. Happy attempts the re-peek, and that will cost him his head. Even Scream wary of the exit. Again, DreamHack was over here, and he's already caught one, so he looks to re-engage towards spawn. Misfits on the hunt. They smell blood in the water. Scream posted up towards Zed. He catches the head of Sean. So at least a parting gift for Misfits, but that's still a 3-point lead.
Nice from Scream. Not much else, though. I doubt he's going to find any more. No, he actually dies in the end. Bit of a loss considering how low the money is for EnVy now. Let's see if they can actually buy on this. Let's see what we've got. 5 and 4K. So Scream and 6 are a decent amount of money. The rest are on like almost double eco territory there. So there is going to be a force up no matter what. Just purely because the money is so trash. This is now going to be a tough bit of time for EnVy here. 4 rounds beside them. Not able to string it together. Misfits going to start really running into this. They should be able to get a good couple of rounds off the back if they keep this up.
Sure, XMS is going to just push into T-Con at this point. Look for that information. I mean, his life is expendable. Or more so than those rifles, at least. But DreamHack, again, he caught a man out in the last round, and he wants to do it once more. Shazam keeping his eyes towards Ivy. Honestly, Misfits just looking to keep EnVyUs honest. You mentioned it before, how they were able to punish that aggressive playstyle of EnVyUs, how they were able to read into it and expect it. Well, they expect it yet again.
And this double stack towards main is going to be, well, connector is going to be hard to get past just because Scream's anti-flash. And you're going to see them now coming to their own. Six has got their back, but already XMS goes down. Scream needs to do it all, and no, Shazam says a big fat no to that one. The AWP comes through. Bong going to be party, but there's one on the side with him. Happy's right there. Doesn't see him in time and gets away.
Still the kit for Sixer and the AWP in play. Amanek with another headshot takes the man advantage, but Sixer's still moving within the site. No smoke for the T side. Neither for EnVyUs, but Happy! Near 3, Shazam stops it in its tracks. Sixer, all that's left. Taps the bomb once, and he plucks him from the sky! EnVyUs make it happen yet again with the weaker buy.
I don't understand what happens to this team when they only have pistols or a couple of guns here and there. It's not normal to be able to win these rounds, but they do. But Happy, this Deagle, brilliantly presented, expects the refrag and just outplays Sick. Just second to none. But their money's still not great. They're able to get a buy together here, but it's held together by, you know, silly string at this point. Their money's just so up and down. You can see these constant back and forth rounds. It's never good for a CT side, but this gives them a good chance to get themselves back in a game here. They need it as well. They were starting to kind of wane under the pressure, but limited utility for Misfits too might encourage just that kind of all-in hit to come through here. They can't really pull too many fakes.
Nice flash onto Scream. He's going to try to retreat, but there's already terrorists in front of him. So Sick doubles down into the bomb site, and the entry is on point. Sixer thinks about just walking out from that, but instead he falls further back, and the bomb's now planted. To the 5v3 we go, but EnVyUs came back in this last round in a very similar situation. They have all the utility in the world here versus none on Misfits. Can they employ it, or will time have ticked too far? Happy able to catch Devaduvic first and foremost. Again, still that single kit in play. All the corners and the backside have been cleared. Now it's the site itself. They need to pick the pace up, and they're going to start to use these grenades, but very little time. So now Sick with another headshot, forcing the hands of EnVyUs, and they decide to fade away, forfeiting another round and putting Misfits on 8.
Yeah, this is looking like a very good side for Misfits. I'd rather be the team who can consistently win rounds like that, where it's your team-based, nice execution, than the one who gets the flashy 1-digs. Because again, back and forth money. You're going to be... I feel bad for Envy because they're not having much of a shot with anything other than these sort of upgraded pistols and a couple of saved over guns. But yeah, this is rough. And Sick there, finding the 2 kills coming out from Pop and the 3rd at the end. Very nice. But yeah, you're kind of screwed when you're Envy. You got to buy into it. What else are you going to do? You know what I mean? You're on like 1k essentially, like 1.2. So you kind of have to buy a little something because you're going to be poor next round anyway. So Six is going to try and tip the scales back to their favor, but a tough situation to try and play yourself in towards.
It's just been such serious resilience from EnVyUs. I mean, so many rounds they have no business winning, and they walk away with them regardless.
Yep.
And I mean, honestly, that serves as a great reminder to these players that these sorts of rounds are still winnable. Just get through this half, get through the economic struggle, reset in the pistol, and EnVyUs can still win. Meanwhile, Misfits, every single time it happens, it's a reason for it to not happen again. You need to ensure that they don't overstep these boundaries, make mistakes, and allow EnVyUs to capitalize. Still 5v5, and Scream's up close here.
Amanek, Sean, just on the other side, a 3rd there too. This could really go badly wrong, but Scream might not be able to make it away. No, a bullet to the back, and that's all you get. Sick gonna go straight in on this too. Desperate for the kill, and he sprays on it. Oh God. Just that one step too far. The ladder a little slippery maybe, as Sean did spill his drink earlier. As Happy now, still alive. Can't stay alive for long. Sean still kicking away. Bomb's going to be planted any second now, and it's a retake time with pretty much... Well, they've recovered a nice gun, actually. I guess XMS does get the M4, gets a nade. No armor, though. That's the next big problem.
Aim punch could be a real issue, but Sixer getting the kill is not a problem for EnVyUs. Now, this 2v2 as the bomb's just planted. Devaduvic up close. XMS smells them out, able to catch the headshot. So suddenly EnVyUs with a man advantage. Again, one of these rounds where they've made it competitive and Shaz gets caught in the open. EnVyUs, how many times are you going to win when you only have 2 weapons?
Okay, if someone's out there is willing to do it, please find the stat of how many rounds they've been down to at least 2 players on a pistol, maybe 3, and they win the rounds, especially on Train, because this was their game against KPI. They struggle in the gun rounds. They somehow win the rounds where they have like deagles, maybe like 1 or 2 weapons, but it's not even like the weapons that do the big damage. This, of course, is great from Sixer, but it was the fact that XMS was able to get back in the game with that M4 with no armor, and it's ridiculous. It is really, really unique. There's not many other teams who do this sort of thing, especially on a regular basis. It's not exactly how you want the rounds to go, but it's getting you rounds on the board. So you're at 6-8, so you can't exactly complain. Now the money's getting a little dreary for Misfits, and Six are getting ahead of himself there. Shazam finds him mid-air and puts him back to the ground.
XMS, though, he's going to push for map control and even information. Gets himself to the T-Con with 2 players over towards Ivy. They were expecting that push, but the crossfire now given up. Sick thinks about dropping into ladder. We had seen Scream up close there before, but Scream's got himself the op. So still this double op setup in play from EnVy, although aggressively so.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Scream's an AWPer. We're going to find out. Picking up sixes. Sick getting the back fans going wild. Bit of a spray towards him though, forcing a player out of position. Or maybe Scream is an AWPer. Maybe I'll never doubt you again. Maybe it's these strange things that seem to work out. But a man does get away. Skips over to the other side. And Scream, not feeling that. Gonna have to fall off this one. But he's buying time. They're down to 30 seconds here. The T-side needs to make their move soon, and they don't have much ground towards the site.
Yeah, one of these moments where Misfits are going to have to scramble and just hope everything goes right. They do still have that double smoke, so they could section off these oppers, but they've yet to do exactly that. Scream caught in the open, just like Sixer. Sean will get the best of him and the man advantage.
Where's the bomb?
15 seconds, it's back towards T-Con. They need to run it now. XMS up close, though. He gets removed. Amanek finding the frags. RPK putting a wrench in the works, but Sick putting in the bomb. His feet!
Oh, no!
It doesn't get planted! And there we have it! A saving shot, but Misfits still take the round. What was this?
Happy! You almost saved the day under the bomb train. That was so smartly done, but yeah. Just couldn't run away in time, didn't find the right amount of cover, and you die. Simple as that. Let's watch it again. So here we go. We were down to about 7-8 seconds that time, so once you kill one, you can't do anything about it. But rather than fading back in towards maybe Ivy or falling back towards that side, he commit towards the other and just gets found. A little unfortunate on his behalf, but it did mean the game ends in a nice sort of taxing scoreline, I guess, for EnVy. I like to see this. Them having to put through their paces. 6-9. Misfits turning up here. I like that T-side. They had a lot going for them. But the amount of those crazy deagles, those kind of weird moments, you just don't see often. Certainly kept coming through for the EnVy boys.
Even for Misfits as well. I mean, I'd like to know how many rounds they... Honestly, the differential between rounds won versus pistols versus guns. Because again, every time there's this double op setup, it seems like Misfits get the best of them. It was pushing up close and in those chaotic moments, which there were so many of, that they seemed to kind of come up short. But here we go. Here's the reset, right? We're discussing how EnVyUs, very, very shady little half from them. Shambles is what they really put together in some of those rounds, but it works. They've gotten the 6 rounds on the board. They've gotten through that first half. Just take your breather, reset, and come in with a bit of dominance. They've got the smoke, they've got the double flash, and they've got box hulls in their pockets.
Good work from Sean. Not to take any damage to this. Bearing in mind he has no armor, he's the player with the kit. This could be a pretty all-inclusive hit from EnVyUs. They're just going to go in on this one. Do you have the smoke that's been put out to play? The flash is going to come in soon. There's the first. Going to allow one player down, but Shazam and Amanek still finding room to operate. You can see EnVy trying to push up, trying to get that real estate, trying to get the map control, and they do get a kill off it, but XMS is pinned in. He has nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and Sixer was the last man to fall, and the first round of the second half here in map 3, bearing in mind, will be going to Misfits.
It's incredible to think that even just, you know, including that first half, we've never seen more than 2 rounds strung together. And more often than not, it's only 1 round either way, just being constantly reset. So considering the last round goes to Misfits by a margin of a second, this pistol round keeps that at 2. So here's their opportunity to really cement some momentum, especially seeing as EnVyUs are looking for that round 3 buy. So the triple P250 double Glock is all they have to work with.
Maybe they win it again, you know? Seems like for some reason these are the rounds that EnVy do win. So just a Glock and a dream. Spawn a little. Misfits just want to keep this as clean as possible. Let the SMGs get the kills. Get Sean Gares farming this up. Same with Amanek. Just roll up the funds as best you can. Never do that being forced back a little. But not much damage to be really seen here. just as of yet. Like they're the first one to strike and draw blood. That's Scream gone, as the rest of EnVy wait for their opportunity.
Redeploys the smoke and allows for RPK to poke into the site, but he finds nothing other than a shot upside the shoulder. Devaduvic, meanwhile, feels a little pressure over towards Ivy's side, calls for some help, and Shazam's gonna get dinked up. So damage being dealt here. Very patient from EnVyUs to just try and use these pistols, despite a massive advantage for Misfits. Why give it away for free? But as they start to filter in, there we have it.
Yeah, and I like the discipline coming in from Misfits. They're not kind of rushing in there or being half-handed about anything. They're being quite smart about it. Even with the aggression, they're still in decent spot. So for now, Misfits do take a pretty decisive lead. Now on the other side, we're going to see the buyback here from EnVy. Very limited amount, down to the bare bones of what you can pull together. But when you've got firepower, like EnVy do, you can depend on it sometimes. Six are going to take a fair bit of damage, and Sean's off. Oh, this could be big. They surely didn't expect that, but XMS is there. Scream delivers, but Sick right back at him. 2 kills. Bomb goes down. Molly goes up. And yeah, he's 20 HP, but he's done more than enough.
Unfortunately for Misfits, that's still so much damage dealt. I mean, Sick barely escapes there with 1/5 his bar. Devaduvic, with only the FAMAS, sits near half. Unfortunately for both sides, utility is quite low. Single smoke for an execution on Scream. Single Molotov to stop it. I love these sorts of moments where both teams just completely stay quiet, not revealing any information through audio cue.
The thing is that Shazam's in the right place. To a degree, he still seems pretty unaware. Gonna flash in. Oh, that was a bit of a missed flash, but actually catches at least one slightly from the T side, but they're close. He doesn't expect this. They're on the site, but what a shot! Shazam goes back in for another blinder, but asked a little too much. But Devaduvic does the job. Sixer goes down. Happy was waiting, and correctly so for Sick, but now time ticks. He has to make the move himself.
The Molotov doesn't block the bomb, so Happy's gonna get away with this. And not just away with the bomb, but away towards the opposite site. He'll catch himself his plant. Now, if Misfits aren't cautious, they might give up 2 1v1s. Happy gonna get his AK back out, and yes, he takes it. Devaduvic offering himself for free, untradeable, and leaving Sick now 1v1 with a massive health advantage for Happy.
How much does Sick have to do in this round? Already 2 kills. Happy does not expect this, so let's see if he can adjust in time. Sick appears and Sick delivers, but no kit. But he should have just about enough time on this one. A little bit close for comfort. And Happy, shake of the head, frustration indeed. And just in that final second, Sick gets a smile on his face and a round on that score as Misfits stride again in the right direction. 12 rounds beside them now.
Crucial round. I mean, the fact that Sick can trade out Sean Gares right away, if Sick goes down in that moment, I'm certain we see EnVyUs just barrel into that B bomb site. But because he comes up with these trade frags right here, again, only escaping with 20 points of health, but then he also has to clutch, so well done. Again, young player in NA just kind of hyped up to be one of these next steps. Sort of along the lines of Twists from Liquid, but proving his worth here today.
And now this is the exact buy that EnVy have seemed to be able to do so much damage with. It shouldn't happen this time just purely because the CTs can play to this. They know what sort of money situation EnVy will be in. Don't want to overcommit to closer angles, but of course Scream's gonna land one. A second to follow, why not? Let's keep this true to trend. Let's not break the mold. Sick gets a little cautious, slides away with the M4, but damage comes in. Shazam gets a little lower, but Sick has had enough. He doesn't want any more of this.
Have to get in his reload, and he will, so these slight threats continue to fall as Misfits are primed for round 13, but XMS at least with a parting gift for Shazam. Removes him from the situation, and his op's actually gonna get sectioned off, so that's not retrieved. Reinvestment must be made. if they so choose. Meanwhile, speaking of reinvestments, EnVyUs back into the gun rounds, and it's a full buy for them, not just AKs, but that one op for Sixer. He's still able to afford a little bit of utility. So can Shazam.
Big moment for Envy. Pretty much do or die time in my eyes. It's the full buy that they can afford here. Amanek putting on some a bit of a show here. Shazam smoking out by Ivy, going to join up as well. Heavier stack towards A, 4 players this time. Sean feeling confident that he can control B by himself. So far, he's been pretty good at that. He's been able to kind of judge it right, but Happy going to get things started, as does Scream. Finally, a decisive strike from Envy that goes their way, but is there a reply? No. Sick, normally the one who can change everything, already goes down.
Shot by Shazam again, at least to take it back to the 2v3, and Happy with a sliver of health at this point. Well, XMS crosses bomb back towards spawn. It's Happy to fall to his death.
What?
No way.
What?
He just fell off the ladder and died.
Oh, what do you say about this one? This cannot be the way you lose this game. Happy jumping head first for Halos. The Shazam's gonna get it done. What a round from Misfits, and what a mistake from Happy.
They can't even explain that. Hoop.
Oh, he missed the ladder. No.
That's when I almost wish we had like a soundboard. That's a...
Yeah.
Oh, poor guy. But at least he's got the AK, so he's looking to redeem himself. We saw Scream pull it out.
Was he meant to buy that AK though?
I don't know, because everybody else just did around it. So is he making decisions on his own now? Who knows what's happening in the EnVyUs camp?
Oh dear, this is one of those games. It's a weird one, but a good one for Misfits. They've shown us some great CS. I can't say anything negative about them.
Nope.
I just wish it was against a slightly better off EnVyUs. You know, you see that real power they can bring, but credit to these guys for doing well. I like the way Sean's approaching this solo site on B when he occasionally plays. He did have support there initially from Shazam, but he might just back off this one. But he's been playing nicely, a little bit of variety, playing up towards those top box halls, backing away, but already the T side taking over control here. They're getting right down by the old bomb train. There's one player towards CT. That's Shazam. Shot comes in from Scream, and the second swiftly off the back. Happy wants to make up for that disastrous round he had before. And a 2v5, we've seen this before, but shouldn't go any further. Shouldn't, I say.
Really cool split this round here from EnVyUs through the CT spawn. Able to really catch Sean off guard. Even when Sean tries to stop the bomb carrier, he's got men to his backside. So, EnVyUs walking away with one. Maybe that last-minute decision to purchase pays off. It's at least the 7th round on the board, but this, of course, is the timeout from Misfits. Not wanting to let EnVyUs get into this game whatsoever. Of course, 3rd map of an elimination. You take no chances.
That was a timeout, yeah, from Misfits. So, Sean having a little chat, keeping them in line, keeping everyone focused. Don't drop the pressure. You're right on that verge. Do not let Cobble happen again. You want to forget that map even existed at this point. But it is likely. Envy, they can do these sort of things. It is very, very possible. These guys seem to somehow make these impossible situations happen for them. But it shouldn't. There's no reason they should be able to come back into this game, but they've been playing a very weird game. You can see the coach there barking out what's going on to the guys that need to find an answer. It's the big thing for Envy now, is find an answer to how we approach this.
Some more explosive rounds would certainly help. I mean, we all know they have the individual talent to just crack open bomb sites. It's crazy to me that Misfits have actually been able to weather this storm so well. And then again, we've also seen them flub some rounds on that first half versus just the light buys. So mistakes have been made.
But these two play the game where it's like, do not stare at the camera, do not pay it attention, stare straight forward.
The giant camera arm that just hovers above a... yeah. It's a good chance for now Misfits to talk out the cash flow. Unfortunately for them, they've got 4.6 for Sean Gares, but a couple players under 2K. So do you just want to put it on the line? Do you want to give EnVyUs that chance, or do you just want to make sure that your next purchase is a nice full one? Clearly calculating for the time being.
You might just ignore this round pretty much, kind of get it out of the way, try and do something with it. Get a gun away would be awesome. If they can actually get a gun away, that'd make up for it, because a couple of the players are towards the double eco territory, which is like Aminek's one of them. So he's got a CZ, so if he can get a gun away and keep it to the next round, then you might be able to see something different. But yeah, that's why it's a stack towards B. But the problem is, Happy's watching this, and he can hear it all happening. He knows far too well, and RPK wants all of his frags. You see Happy dying to get into this, and that cost him his life. That would have made me laugh, but the prize factor of that was the player coming up through Pop in the end. Didn't work out. And we will see one now creeping back on the board for EnVyUs.
Now, luckily for Misfits, they just give away a freebie round, but it's not as though they're doing so with 11 or 12 on the board. There's still that bit of a grace period before things get all too crazy, all too hectic, and way too close. But they're going to come in with a buy now, so they're not going to wait until the time to get all full M4s. They're going to keep those double umps, and at least the op for Shazam, which is positioned aggressively over towards this B site.
He's banking on really nailing and backing away from this, because there's always the threat of Happy being there, but that's a great opener. Finding one for free and getting away with it, even better. I hope he goes back up, though. Does he go up towards the top ladder and try and find Happy? Yeah, you can see Happy starting to consider that being the next move, so Happy mollies it out, but he might just wait on this. He actually might wait to play back in, because if Shazam's feeling it, why not go for it? Happy's going to have the higher angle, though, up on that box, and it's... Happy's not seen this. Is Happy aware? Happy can jump on the box. Yeah, he can. There it is. Shazam, so unaware of that. Didn't check on it. Bit of a mistake on his half there.
The rest of EnVyUs just poised to come flooding out of Ivy, but they hit the brakes. For the time being, sick to reposition. A lot of movement right now from Misfits. Devaduvic still towards site. Now, of course, this is the umps on the A-bomb site. Bit of a distance, if you're not careful. And once more, EnVyUs just playing this round by creeping in, finding the headshot. Devaduvic's down, but Aminek from above gonna swing it with at least one of his own. Instantly removed, though. Sixer with the sidearm, trying to get the bomb across into the site itself with the man advantage. Sean towards connector, sick up in the halls, and they've called it. This is a save. He wants his op, and they'll move it forward. This is EnVyUs to 9. And Misfits still stagnate on 14.
I'm surprised that Happy didn't try and get that AWP maybe, or, I don't know, go back for it. I think he's going for it now. And we'll see how aware he is. Bit of a shoulder peek, wide peek to follow. Now he's on the hunt. Oh, sick. Lovely shot. This guy. I was kind of curious why everyone was banging on about this guy. In the first couple of games we saw him, he wasn't exactly all that loud. But he's really starting to come into this. Overpass, this map, looks very, very strong. Very solid player. Overall, not even top fragging, that's Shazam, but you can see how he operates, very, very smooth. So, there we go. One back for Envy.
But at least Misfits are able to keep those two weapons. If they were entirely cleared out, then we'd really see them worse for wear. Wouldn't mind seeing them pick up a couple tidbits of utility, try to put those pistols in the forefront. Play off this double rifle.
Envy opening up that window of opportunity now. Can't let concentration slip, however. Must stay incredibly focused. And try and negate the presence of Sick and Shazam pretty much. Find a way around these guys. If you can do that, you're in good stead, but Envy won't be, or shouldn't be in a hurry here. They should just try and take over map control nice and easy, which they're doing. They're getting that full spread throughout the map. You've still got XMS over by Ivy. He's keeping a passive eye towards it. You've probably got Sixer doing the same from basically spawn side. Happy baiting out by Pop. Yeah, it's pretty much, okay, let's just get ourselves in a good spot. We've got plenty of utility. Ensure that no one's trying to make something happen, like a stack or maybe a slow push. Try and force him away a little bit here. Aminek playing on the verge of that fire. Careful of his back. If someone played out from connector, then he'd be absolutely screwed. But are they working over towards B? There's 3 players from Misfits here. And I'm pretty sure 6 one of them. So we'll see if this works out. Or it might be Shazam. One of the 2 is over there. So, yeah, Shazam holding this down, as this could be a disaster for Envy. If Shazam has a game here, if he has a couple of shots connect, he's in a good spot for it too. The flashes do not find him. They're already out down towards lower. He spots one just as the flash came through, and now Envy strike.
Envy able to grab 3 quick frags. The entirety of the defense falls. Of course, the rotation's already arrived. That's DreamHack dealt with. And Amanek on the retreat. So, excellently done here by EnVyUs. A convincing round in order to ensure them double digits. We talked about how EnVyUs are the type of team that, when in these moments, can make anything happen. You never write them off. You never count them out. Whether that be because the score is close, because they're on the comeback, or even because they only have, 1 or 2 rifles. You do not sleep on Envy.
Yeah, and this is where you get that slight thought in your head of Misfits, is you're worried about that choking again, right? You're worried about that first map where you just you made a couple of mistakes, you let that comeback happen, you're frustrated about it. You kind of forgot it because of Overpass, right? You sat there, you're like, okay, well, Overpass was super good for us, we played really, really well. But then you start remembering, okay, we have had this happen to us before, surely not again. We'll just, once we get that buy, it'll be fine. But you know what it's like on the CT side. Your money gets fragile. It can be shattered so quickly. They are on a good buy here, though. This is a way better look for them. Not perfect. Still DreamHack lacking utility. No kits either. Everyone going right on back in with this. So let's see what MB have in store for us this time. Shazam goes right into it, but doesn't connect.
Scream already worried of these forward aggressions. And that's what happens when we start to see smokes and flashes being used here by Misfits. An indicator of what could be. But the CTs sit passive. It's a pretty heavy A stack early on. Sean just keeping eyes up at B.
B here, building up now. 3 players over there, make it 4. Bomb en route. It's a very passive play from Sean. They're essentially playing retake without a kit. So I'm kind of curious how they're going to go about this one. And now the hit comes in. Sean knows it. He needs to try and keep hold of some of the map, basically. Keep hold of somewhere on this B site, because they're going to push forward. He knows that maybe 2, possibly 3, and he just gets outdone. XMS just better at doing it, better at landing it. And that's 5v4 already.
Yeah, and look how the CTs are on now sectioned out. At least DreamHack creates a bit of space, but without Sean here, without him holding on to a larger portion, it's still a really tough spot for Misfits. But now EnVyUs getting convinced further back, so they've done it. Misfits have fought into this retake, but can they keep going further? They don't have any utility to play with. Down goes DreamHack, caught mid-jump. XMS with a headshot, but Sick on the forefront, trying to trade this back. He doesn't realize the man's there. Luckily, Amanek will catch it. And we are equal yet once more. Sick finding another frag, but time is of the essence. And with no kit here to play with, it is going to be EnVyUs on 11.
They could, I started to see that working for Misfits then. But yeah, you got to feel for DreamHack. Then he tried to get on towards Oil Train, and you can still kind of stand on the side of it, and he just fell off. And it was just unfortunate in a way, but still, EnVyUs build another 11-14 now. Their money's getting better and better. They're sitting pretty much perfect, I'm almost certain at this point. Yeah, you've got people on almost full money, so they will not be running out of money anytime soon. Whereas for Misfits on the other side of things, they're still trying to scrape it together. They've got an okay buy here. They saved enough rifles to be able to spread the wealth, but they've hit a bit of a brick. You know, they've hit a little bit of a wall here, and Shazam, oh god, this could be a disaster. He's completely blind, doesn't make it out either. Envy are going to go off the back of this, unless Sean does something incredible, and no, Sixer does it all. 2 big entry kills, but Amanek still finds Scream, and the Molly finds his target. So it's not all over, and where's that bomb gone?
It's not retrieved. Amanek, he's going to be able to control this. He's got eyes on it. EnVyUs in a really awkward position right now. Sure enough, they've got presence on site, but no bomb to plant. XMS finds a crucial frag, though. Still Amanek keeping his eyes on the device. Happy's going to try to counter lurk this out, but there is lurks upon lurks from both sides. Misfits with a man creeping forward. That's DreamHack. He doesn't catch Happy, able to flick, so it is just Amanek
Timing!
now.
The bomb's been recovered. He missed the timing by a second. Good strike from Amanek. He knows. Oh, what a play! Dives down on towards Happy, and now time is of the essence. But XMS hasn't got the bomb yet. Amanek's playing a little further ahead of this. He hears the steps now. He hears that ladder. He knows the plan. He knows the play. XMS is off. Smoke goes in towards Pop. Molly in towards Connector. And Bomb goes in. Amanek has a chance of this. He's got a kit. And did XMS hear the steps? Does he predict this? We're going to find out any second now.
Amanek has to be careful, though. He's running out of time. He doesn't have an opportunity to stop. So once he arrives here, he's going to have to either tap the bomb or just gamble and clear Connector. He's trying to check some corners. He's going to get the chance to kill, but it is going to be XMS and EnVy with another round. They keep this rolling despite a very awkward situation there and a very great effort by Amanek to drop the bomb carrier and then clear out the second man, Happy, from the stairs. Awesome entry here from Sixer with a double op play. Just a wild round yet again for a wild series.
Money, I hate keeping going on about this, but Misfits just about keeping themselves in this, and they are getting to a very scary point now. It's the tipping of the scale here, where it goes from feeling like, oh, we're so close, it's fine, we'll get it eventually, to this can't be the comeback. Surely not like this. Happy gaining control, working his way up. Sick. Playing a little more attentively towards Connector. DreamHack, you can see his frustration earlier as well. Slamming on the desk. Getting annoyed that he missed that shot on Happy. That, again, that could have changed the game too. It didn't. EnVy take their time this round. 1 minute on the board. Amanek being forced out this time. Tries to basically keep himself safe from one of the two angles. That would have forced him to be able to be seen by Connector. And EnVy yet to hit this one yet.
Been thoroughly impressed with EnVyUs' ability to just slow down rounds. Not always where they flourish, but doing a good job of it here today. Misfits with players on top of the train yard. And again, one over towards the Pop Dog, so nice positions. Could catch EnVyUs off guard, and all they need is a couple frags here. XMS finds that opening frag. That's DreamHack down. RPK as well, with XMS finding the third, and the entirety of Misfits has fallen, other than Sean Gares, who's just left alone. Poor guy has very little to play with, and EnVyUs are making this actually happen.
This is almost distasteful to watch. You tease them, you give them that hope. You make them think that it's all but theirs. And then this happens. This many rounds in a row. It gets in your head. You start to feel you don't know how to win these rounds anymore. It all becomes a little bit obtuse, but 13-14 will be that scoreline, and EnVy pull another one back. This is EnVy fighting for their tournament lives at this point.
It's wild to think that in the first half, we never had more than 2 consecutive rounds being won. And now in the second half, we have a straight 5-0 start for Misfits, now coupled back by a 7-point spree. What a change of pace. What a clean entry from EnVyUs that round. I mean, Misfits were content with just sitting and lying in wait, but all the frags go the way of EnVyUs, and this round should as well. But we've said that multiple times and had to eat our words. It's still going to be the ump and M4 from Misfits.
And they're looking to try and do this some way. Any option they can find there, a bit of a stack towards Ivy. But Six is already watching this. A flash is going to come in. They actually might play into this a little, and Six is going to line him up and knock him down if they keep running into him like that, and they're going to fall off it. Not an option there.
So Ivy's been closed. They've decided to just disengage, go elsewhere, push forward towards A. Sick into the brown halls. He catches the back of RPK and will take the frag, but Happy's there to trade it back. yet again, as now EnVyUs pulled the trigger on this execution. Happy gonna further his way, flashing through the smokes, but Shazam deegs him in the mouth. And now he's got the AK. He tries to find another frag, but it's Scream with a headshot and further space for that bomb to be planted. Sean Gares at a distance, though, able to topple another. And it's a 2v2 we're left with.
Sixer strikes Amanek down. It's just Sean Gares here in the 1v2. Time ticks and the options become less and less likely, and he knows it. With every second that passes, the chance to get to 15 gets taken away from him. XMS, Sixer, stand tall. They're not giving an inch here. They are not giving anything to Sean for him to work off. And there it is. XMS swings out, gets it done, and the comeback continues. They are at the door now. Is this going to be the most heartbreaking moment?
I mean, again, this is one of those situations where you didn't think the comeback is possible, but at the same time, this occurs on Cobblestone, where once they get to 14, we see EnVyUs just seal the deal. So if Misfits have any chance, it's with this round. No longer are they dealing with an M4 and an UMP. They have their full buy on the table. They've got the AWP in the hands of Shazam, and the same can be said for Sixer. And it's early A-site presence from Misfits, with Sixer trying to find that pick. But a smoke grenade goes down, and EnVyUs yet once more just creeping their way into B. Sean Gares playing alone at this point. EnVyUs walk away.
Yeah, they're backing off from this. I'm not sure what's made them feel like this way. Maybe they just want a little bit more map control for a bit. Really put the pressure on the Misfits guys. There is no smokes left either on the CT, so they can't buy much more time here. This will be, when they go, they go. That's all it is. And a bit of a switch up here from NV2. Able to play down Ivy late in this game. But a passive and hopefully rather cautious and methodical, disciplined defense coming in. The smokes are about to be thrown, but do they go off this? No, not yet. They're getting the utility away, Envy. They are making this costly. Look at that. They've stripped them bare almost. And the hit might just be coming in through connector now. They apply the pressure in one direction. They turn tail and head the other way. Sick could be the first to have to really handle this, but Shazam as well. Pop already looking threatened. They're on the site here. Envy are out. They're at the door. They're knocking them down. Six to find Shazam. And again, we see it. Sean Gares, last man standing. It'll be Envy to get to 15. Unless he can do something... well, something, I guess, not short of a miracle.
Not gonna happen. EnVyUs able to secure overtime. This will now be their 9th consecutive round. At least Sean sends Happy home with a parting gift, but the double op setup still in the hands of Envy. So they just allow this bomb to explode. So, what do Misfits do from here? I mean, we've seen them try to change pace. We've seen them try to get aggressive over towards Ivy side. They've pushed up into the Brown Halls multiple rounds. They just can't happen to find that solution. And every time EnVyUs go for one of these late A plays, when they just walk into the bomb site, it's once they execute, once they pull that trigger, they just completely stampede the defense. So few frags are found in an attempt to hold the line.
We might just be witnessing 5 North American hearts break in the space of about 2 minutes. We're going to find out now. This is the final real go for Misfits. They fought hard for this. They gave it everything they had. But then this turnaround from Envy has been nothing short of spectacular. From looking like a team in shambles to pulling it all back together. The smokes go up, but no sighting yet of the Envy side.
Sean just barely gets spotted. Could have been. But again, no change up here from Misfits. They go back to this passive A-site setup with 4 guys on it and leaving Sean alone towards B.
So hard to get information from this. They have no one push forward. They have no one close. They're all playing pretty far back here, like old bomb train, back of the site. So they don't see if someone creeps out, maybe connect to. You could see already Devaduvek like staring under the trains, hoping that maybe you'd spot someone. But no, Envy again falling off this. Now, last time they took control down by Ivy, put some pressure there, threw a lot of utility over, stripped away the last piece of utility from Misfits, and then went on the hit. This could be a similar thing, or they might just go for this. They might just go for it right about now. RPK, Gel breaks his way in towards B. He's pulled all the players over. Oh God, RPK rains in him from above. This could be it. They're down to 2.
Already this A site's open. EnVyUs able to do it now thanks to that play from RPK. Sean uncovered was the first to fall unless this 2v4 can happen. Already DreamHack starts to pepper players, but he's gonna get fully flashed. And 6 smoked off. Of course, Scream sits to the bottom of the ladder, and that's a crucial kill. That's 6 are down, the op removed, and only rifles standing. DreamHack needs to pick this up. His time is ticking. That's 2 quick frags. It's just down to Happy. It changes momentum. Happy, as the bomb's gonna get tapped, has yet to go wide, but he swings, and he's not gonna get it. It's Misfits in OT. The time is there. They have managed that 2v4.
13 HP. That 2v4 was absolutely outstanding. And EnVy, what a moment to drop the ball. It all looked perfect. You drew the players out towards B. RPK put in a hero-level performance. He killed so many on a rampage. Look at this again. Poor old Sean. What are you going to do there? You're just hoping, you're banking. But you had players behind you, and they were even less aware. And the third was just, oh, enough is enough, surely. But no, that was the turnaround. Sick came back in. The kills were so quick. They had no kill on them either. That was the scarier part there. The fact that literally Misfits had a second to spare there. No time at all. But finally we get to see Misfits with some money right back in on the double AWP. We haven't seen that too much from them here. So Amanek onto that one with Shazam. Solo AWP on the T side, not too surprising. They don't often go to on their T side here for EnVy, but we are right back into the throw. Again, EnVy's T side has seemed formidable so far. That was the first real hiccup we saw in the last couple of rounds.
This is a change of pace. It's normally been Sean Gares playing that B side alone, but now that Amanek has this second op, he's taken the spot. And Shazam's been given room to work with over on that A site, just playing over towards Ivy, playing forward towards T-Con, just attempting to catch an angle. And to steal the 5v4, but then a little exchange of grenades as Sixer fires off. No one gonna present themselves as DreamHack's ever cautious. However, he steps wide into it.
And Misfits going to find this hard to read. Is this again the fake that we saw before? Are they going to come out from Connector? Or are they actually going to commit to this? EnVy have set a very nice pacing to themselves on this T side. They really stretched Misfits. Sick though. Mollied off. Doesn't see anyone actually playing out of this. So they've got a good idea of this, this little bit of ruse. Okay, where are they going to head? Considering the players going all the way up towards the brown halls, maybe look towards B, or they could just go right down pop. And yeah, you can see a very quick response here coming in from Misfits. They're in the right place, but can they control this? 20 seconds now. EnVy running the clock incredibly low.
Molotov to the ramp. It's gonna pick up the heat. Sixer tagged ever slightly. Sean with a headshot. DreamHack the same, and Amanek with a third. It is just the CTs until Sixer chimes in with something for EnVy. Of course, it's him and Happy still standing, but DreamHack with another frag. And there's the last one to tumble. Misfits bouncing back. Great rotation into that B site. EnVyUs try to entry, but it gets denied.
Whew, nice game. Misfits were lacking money for a while, but it wasn't just the money situation that was their problem on the CT side during regular time. It felt like nothing was working right. They weren't reading the game how they felt like should be, but eventually they've got it right back here. Those double ups really seem to work out for them. And EnVy running that clock so low that molly could have hindered it all, but here we are. Double up still up to the 4-1 play. And Amanek, the one soloing out very close by with an ult. This is it's a bit spicy. Spots maybe the foot crossing, or maybe he didn't. He certainly gets seen though. Molly goes in. Might need to fall from this one now and be a little careful as someone playing off the back of that.
Very thorough in the checking of those corners is XMS. Now we've seen earlier during regulation, EnVyUs head over towards the box halls just to shift their attention back towards Ivy and then go for that late A execute or dried run. And now in overtime, this is going to be a second attempt into the B bomb site with a very similar timing. Of course, we saw Misfits get ahead of the last one, And that rotation's yet to be called, but now an array of nades into the bomb site. Amanek all alone. So just like Sean, he needs to buy a little time. He needs to control some space. But already EnVyUs just grilling them as he pushes forward. Happy on the train.
Such good pressure applied here from Happy. He knows it as well. He's got incredible room to work. And that's a third for Happy. Sean Gez gets completely and utterly destroyed. Amanek is trying to unleash himself, but to no end here. DreamHack as well, the last two standing, 2v4. Clock ticks further. Curious positioning from both. And working each other's way around, but the problem is that they're still Happy in connector. DreamHack last man standing though. And escape might not even be possible.
Way too much to ask for, so he's just gonna fade away. Already we do see Happy trying to get in position to hunt this, but DreamHack plays it safe. So, EnVyUs able to yet again overwhelm that B site, but this time it's a nice smoke grenade that sections off Amanek, not just charging forward with everybody. And then obviously that 3K from Happy on top of the train. He just puts himself amongst his opponents, pulls the trigger, and takes down 3. Excellently done, not just by him, but again, the entirety of EnVyUs in that round.
EnVy are very good at getting the map control they need on B anyway. They're just good at being aggressive and pushing down far enough that essentially allows them further forward, so it almost kind of nullifies the retake before it starts. And if the one player on B can't at least get a kill or kind of retain some of that room to play retake in, you're pretty much screwed. So Misfits know this, and they're still trying to do this solo B player. Amanek again, very far forward. They're going to cross. This time he lands it though. Happy goes down. Some lovely revenge for him after suffering at his hand for quite some time. The 5v4 now, leaving Envy to try and pick up the pieces. A quick flasher boost to follow. But no kill there just yet.
Poor DreamHack gets caught up close. You can see the frustration. It's now the 4v4 is what we're left with, and still EnVyUs just barreling forward. Sick tagged heavily here, and no! RPK gets denied! Sixer, sure enough, finds another frag, and Sick is able to exit. But this is a 2v2 regardless, and Amanek with that op all the way to the back of Ivy, side by side with Sick.
You won't be thinking it's Ivy this early. You might consider it now, but maybe not both players. You can see Sixer, he's terrified of it now. He realizes the problem that Scream couldn't see it. There was too many problems on board. They didn't have any map control left. Bomb goes loose. 26 seconds. You need some of that Scream magic to appear, but Sick has been so on point in these situations where it looks like they're down and out. He digs them out of those, and our Scream flash goes in. Can pull on almost safely into the bomb train. No, backs away. Time now of the essence. 8 seconds. He needs to full plant. He takes down Sick. It's a 1v1, but he needs to hold the plant, and he does. Amanek now works his way in. Surely Scream can make this happen. Spots him. Oh, the CZ! He runs out with it. And Misfits again live to fight another day.
Crucial round advantage moving forward, especially on the CT side here. So they've done it. To think that they lost, I believe, 9 or 10 consecutive rounds on that second half, just to now get 2 of the 3 in overtime. This is crucial. All thanks to the restabilized economy and some big plays. You think, of course, when Scream's able to get that 1 versus 1 and plant the bomb, that maybe he walks away with it. Amanek as well reveals himself with the Molotov, so Scream's got information. It's not as though he's caught off guard. It's just that drive-by off the sidearm that costs him.
Okay, game's going live. It's time to get this started. 16K. Every single player to get whatever they fancy. All available this time. And the T side from Misfits was very good. That was what turned our heads for quite some time. Envy were in it, but we're going to see straight up double orbs coming through. A lot of early damage down towards DreamHack. Sick, though, takes an absolute beating. Down to 50, so yeah, this one gets a little awkward. There's already Sixer presented with 4. He could see none of them. Flashed up at the worst timing possible. And Envy now on the back foot. Scream instantly gets back into it, but left in a dire situation himself. Pressured, can't back away. 10 bullets in the clip, and he better make him count.
So he's going to charge through it, but that costs him. DreamHack and Sick combining for 2 and taking that double man advantage. But the bomb now retrieved and dropped yet again. RPK able to hold things off for now. One man the advantage is happy with the op. He's trying to catch an angle here. And that's exactly what Shazam will do as well. Once more, that bomb's been just chucked to the wayside. Flashbangs up close. DreamHack gets the best of him, so RPK needs a big old clutch, and he's going to start it off with 1. 8 health is all he has to play, and it's not going to be enough. Shazam gets that first round for Misfits, and another round on the T side will secure this win.
This is match point. This is the exact sort of game you wanted to be seeing in the DreamHack ASTRO Open. Here in Valencia, every single game that seems to start the day delivers. We had that crazy upset. Now this, OT coming in, all 3 maps played out. Both teams putting up a blistering performance, and Misfits again, right back into it. Never gonna relent at this point. Flashes, nades, all put through. Envy, of course, still have plenty of money. OT, loads of it with them. All that stopping power hinders any early aggression. Sick again. How is he getting so much damage done to him early round? I don't understand where it comes from, but he is down almost half HP already.
Saw that very forward positioning from EnVyUs at A early on over towards Pop Dog, but they've fallen back from this. XMS still sits next to the red train. Just hoping players creep out, hoping to catch them to the side of E-Box while Sixer posts up on this angle yet once more. Sixer walks away. Now when he comes back, there could already be T's on the position, so timing is so finicky.
Problem is now he's very locked to the side as well. They're trying to play back into this. Shazam's about to be tested. Timing could not be any worse if he gets outdone here. He was holding this angle for so long, and then just think about it. XMS is just around that corner, but Sixer gonna find Sean as he pushes out. Scream locks down Shazam, and so far it looks good for Envy, unless they drop the ball now.
Aminex at least able to get Sixer to turn. Sixer in question now. Up close are the AKs. DreamHack trying to clear T-Con, but XMS bests him, and Sixer takes the next one. So it is just 6 still standing. The last man left, and he starts it off with a headshot. Almost another. Able to cross towards bomb. He's just gonna try to plant this. Desperation sinking in, and he's lined up too! No way he wins this for the game. It's absolutely impossible, but so freaking close. Luckily, Happy's able to get that last frag as well.
Yeah, that feeling, coach.
By God, just release the tension. If he hit Happy with this headshot.
The thing is, he was so close as well. Like, Happy just got out of dodge at that point.
Whose flash was that?
I don't know by this point. This could be double OT. We're gonna find out. This, again, really puts the pressure back towards Misfits. Given the amount of times they feel like that, oh, we're so close to winning this, and then slips away, but we're gonna have Happy on this side and RPK. 2 heavy hitters. RPK feels a little pressure and puts out the molly. Waiting now. Happy towards the top side of things. Still not sure if this is the final goal, if this is the real end of it all. Now they might know that this is where they're considering. And Sick going down is a big name to claim at this point.
Misfits just try to double down on this. They just try to barrel in. Yes, Scream able to catch that bomb. Sure enough, Shazam with 1 frag, but there's only 2 players still up here. Aminex fully blinded, dealt with, so double OT looks like it's on the table. Unless Shazam can work a miracle, and he can't, so EnVyUs yet again will have another chance.
What is this game? No team seems to be able to grind it out just that far, and then all slips away, and so many close moments coming out, but yeah. Didn't expect this map to be this close. Both teams having to go back and forth, and this kind of puts the pressure back onto Misfits to be able to try and deal with that CT side that they're struggling to handle a little more than expected. You think so many moments just went the wrong way, for each team. That could have changed everything, but double OT time. Who knows how this is going to go?
There's no way to call it at this point. I mean, this series was going to be in question. We said it was going to be close. Many predicting that 3rd map, but a double OT, my goodness. Double op set up for Sixer and Happy. Of course, Shazam still hangs on to his.
PK again, feeling a bit of strain, but a different look from Misfits, applying pressure throughout the map. We know the genuine Envy feel pressure. They like to respond by putting players towards connector. They'll push up Scream, they'll push up maybe XMS with him. Might be something that maybe Misfits want to try and exploit, but Six are already controlling the situation well. He can't deal with this though. DreamHack finally breaks in, gets through. There is a player in CT, that being Happy. The pinch towards B. This is like an old Na'Vi hit that used to happen. Play right around the back of old Bomb Train. Happy though, well versed in this, falls back well, finds a new angle, delivers it towards Sick. And now RPK knows he's going to be under pressure, but where from? They haven't checked on him. How's he getting away with this? How is he alive? Finally goes down, but Happy is just completely causing havoc here.
More importantly, controlling that bomb as well. So, man advantage now furthered as Aminek's all that's left. And on 13 health in a 1v3, no bomb, he's done for. Scream gets that last frag, and EnVyUs are able to win their opening CT round. A crucial one at that. EnVyUs going to stay committed to this double op setup. We saw Aminek buy one on the CT side to double op with Shazam, but not on the offensive.
No, quick hit as well coming through here. You can see it straight away. The fast smokes come out to play and they're straight through. Sixer this time going to be blocked off. Not able to see so much here. Smoke's going relatively deep. Going to put pressure on towards the players on the side, but Scream will not be moved. 3 kills for him. And he almost takes down his own teammate. He is feeling it now. That's a big moment for Envy. A clean, crisp round is exactly what you need.
Luckily for Misfits, money not in question. Nice hold by Scream. Comes out from Pop Dog, just obliterates that defense. Or at least the site that they were trying to defend, seeing as they almost had it. So close. Till he decided to get into the fray.
Got to start feeling the pressure now, Misfits. You don't want to go down with no rounds in the first half, or second OT first half. That's when you start feeling the pressure. That's when you feel kind of like, are we running out of steam? Do we have that longevity? Which is such a big factor. You've got to have so much resilience to be able to play out these OTs. And we know that Envy do have it. They're very, very veteran players. And Happy, again, does so much for the side after having some really weird moments throughout the regular time. Delivers here in OT.
Poor Aminek gets just peeled off of the angle. So it's going to be under the op of Shazam. At least DreamHack's here to support. Sean setting smokes. And of course, Sick anchoring towards the Pop Dog. So now it starts to filter through. XMS in the corner. Tries to cower. Shazam will best him. And this will be that two-pronged assault. Nobody coming in from T-Con. But can Scream hold it yet again?
The only real pressure he might feel is from Pop, but he is controlling the situation. Only headshots to be seen, but he doesn't land the follow-up. And back down to this 3v3 now, even situation on both sides. Sean's a little lower, but again, these Orps having to operate at very close means here. Makes it a little tricky for the Envy side.
Firing off the Pop Dog where Scream had impact last, but now it's Happy to peek out wide, and there we go! EnVyUs with a flawless CT side. This puts Misfits in question.
More than that, they need to deliver something outstanding. Their CT sides have been not necessarily a bad thing, but it's been the taxing side of things. They haven't been able to have the easiest run during regular time. So, again, time to refocus. Try and put yourself back into this. But you can see this is one of those moments you didn't want to be at. You want to have at least that one round maybe, or something to work with. They're being stumped here.
Yeah, nobody likes starting an overtime half to play for another overtime.
Yep.
You always want that potential win on the table.
Frustration probably setting in here. Valiant attempts all around, but just falling short at this point. Hard work, even just to look at. Envy, though, what a story for these guys. A bit of a hit and miss performance, to say the very least, and then they recover just. Back we go, straight out. Look at Shazam down to 58. Oh, extra mess! It's sublime, it's perfect. DreamHack does reply, though, and fast pace being applied towards A, but that's not where the hit is. Oh, Aminek Can you control this by yourself? There's a lot of players coming your way. You've got support en route, but you've got to do something. You've got to hold your ground. Otherwise, this could be it. Six already has the angle. Bomb surely to be planted soon. Where are they going? Are they backing away from it again? They are, because look at Happy. Oh, God, it's all going wrong.
It's beautiful. It is beautiful to watch. EnVyUs completely outplaying Misfits at this point, exploiting that early rotation. But if Happy goes down, which he won't because Sixer plucks the man first and foremost. 2 kills, all that separates EnVyUs from moving forward, and now it is just Chaz. 1 versus 4, Misfits about to go home, and EnVyUs gonna secure at least this first elimination match, and looking for sweet, sweet revenge versus KPI Gaming in the decider of this group. EnVyUs have done it, they've weathered the storm, they make it happen.
I don't know how they dug that deep. They had an incredibly tough game there, EnVyUs. Not an easy one by any margin. They had to fight tooth and nail for that, something that I did not expect. I thought it was either going to be clear-cut either way. I didn't think it would be that grueling from either side, and you've got to feel for Misfits. They put up a huge fight, huge fight, but it just fell away at the end. They just fell short. But yeah, for me, an incredibly tough one to watch. You know, from the Misfits perspective, they worked so hard on that, and then it just at the very last hurdle fell away. How long were they on those 14 rounds for?
Forever, 9 or 10 at that point. So it was heartbreaking to watch. Again, especially considering how back and forth that first half was. There were so many hurdles that we actually see EnVyUs have to deal with. How many rounds were they able to win with just a couple of guns?
Yep.
Like, they barely got through that half and then just turn it on in the second.
Yeah,
so
they scraped it together.
Yeah, Misfits give them the opportunity to make that comeback happen, and, well, EnVyUs just stampede forward. So the fact that, you know, we go to the double OT and that it's a clean sweep in the end, it's unfortunate to watch, but that's the way it goes.
Was some good CS, though. First
Absolutely.
map, Cobble, was a wild ride. Surprised that didn't go into OT. Second map, we finally saw Misfits coming back in. Untilted, Shazam Unleashed. Third map, double OT, and Envy finally closed it out. But yeah, what an absolute marathon of a game. I'm pretty tired. I'm going to take a short break. You know what? I think you deserve one too. And speaking of that, let's head down to the stage. Let's start and have a little chat with the boys who just walked away with the victory.
That's right. I'm standing here with Happy. These guys coming off a thrilling 3-map into overtime victory. How does it feel?
Easy.
Well, all right then. Look, you guys, what was the mindset going into map 3? Because obviously this went the full distance.
I think they did a really good job of winning important rounds that would put us in double ecos. So it was like really a brawl on the city side. And at some point it was like 14-6. And like we had to make the perfect call, everyone, and me and Malek, our coach, we really think this through, and we almost made it in the regulation if I didn't fail my 1 versus 2, but I think we did play really good just on that T side alone.
Now, looking at that last round, you guys sold the inner hit. You were able to go back outside. How did that strategy come to be?
It was, how do you say that, like a call on the fly. We didn't plan for that, but it's something we like to do on train when I can lurk into A or lurk into B and I call the guys back. And yeah, it's something we are used to do. And I think they were really naive in a sense, because it's really worked a lot of times where players were able to take timings. And for example, RPK, myself, and Alex, Scream, XMS, sorry. And yeah, we were just able to outmaneuver them.
Well, looking at this next matchup, you guys do have the hometown favorites in KPI. Is there a home field advantage for these guys?
We definitely want to take our revenge, and I think they played really well on the first game. But we definitely lack confidence, and winning matches like this one, it will definitely help, and I think we will be able to take it.
Well, congratulations. You guys are heading to the decider match. I'm going to throw it over to James and the guys at the desk to break this down.
Thank you so much. The guys were right on the desk. It was a hell of a marathon of a game there. Guys, let's try and wrap up all 3 of these long maps into a short segment of analysis.
Short segment. Do you remember?
So like Cobble, right? Let's go back to Cobble, because we were expecting EnVyUs to come out on top as we went into this game. We felt like they were the stronger. All of our predictions were Envy. how did you feel coming out of that first map?
I mean, we got the result right? But it wasn't the way we expected it.
Yeah.
EnVyUs CT side was pretty amazing. I'd say it looked like sharp, it looked clean, and they were like right there from the beginning of the match. Didn't seem like to affect them that was the first match of the day at all. Then they switched to the T side, and all of a sudden it was Misfits all over the server. And it's just like, and there was like a thing throughout the game. It just seemed so random, so uncoordinated. So like it was just like it's hard to explain, but you feel it when you're playing, like when something is just not clicking, and it was like that feeling. You could like see it in the enemy players, the way they acted, the way they moved around the map. Like they didn't have the feeling of knowing what's going on and what to do, and like it was all like just messy, you know, and that shined through all through map, I'd say.
Yeah, and you know, even though EnVy come out with a victory on Cobblestone, that could have very easily gone so wrong. I think Misfits make a couple of missteps at the very end there. I think it's at 15-14. They managed to, or they actually try that three-man stack towards the A-bomb site, and they have the right approach to it, because obviously if you leave yourself short in terms of just manpower on the B-bomb site, it's going to be really hard to hold, so you rather want to have information so you can make early rotations. And they initially have Shazam covering for Sick as he pushes up towards the long plateau and gets into aggressive position, but for some reason they decide to fall back off of that after using a ton of utility to clear out the space. And they end up in a situation where they still don't make any rotations off of the information they've got. They still stick with 3 people towards that A-bomb site, and they have pretty much used every sort of every possible utility they can to hold EnVy off that eventual B push that comes in, you know, 20 seconds later, because Sick has fallen back from that aggressive position. And at that point, you've given up a whole lot to gain absolutely nothing. And I think if they would have stuck with a more aggressive position, obviously it's a very tough call to make then and there. I think that could have been, you know, what turns it into their favor, and all of a sudden we would have very potentially looked at a 2-0 instead of a 3-mapper.
Yeah, and then so going into the next like overpass. Yeah, so overpass, we saw, as you say, EnVy kind of winning that map, but they kind of felt like they're on the back foot. Misfits came out in force on overpass.
Yeah, and I think what we talked about in the pregame really came shining through, the fact that obviously EnVy, very different team from Heroic. They have a completely different way of actually trying to get map control or trying to play the T side on overpass. And again, it's not as restraining. It doesn't put that much of a constriction on the Misfits player. And you can see Amanek on Shazam on that A-bomb side just wreaking havoc with EnVy throughout the entire CT half. So whether it was through aggression, doing boosts by restrooms, didn't really matter. Like they had a ton of different plays that they could go to because they weren't really put under any significant pressure from the French side. And that's why you see, you know, the big change in style and why more and more teams are leaning towards playing the way Heroic are playing overpass.
Yeah, and then we're going to train, which is then it's the marathon, right? That's it was so back and forth, as was this whole 3-game series really, but back and forth in different ways. The first half being a few rounds here and there, back and forth, and then a complete like the second half was just completely split in half. How did you feel about train, Jacob?
Yeah, like we were watching it backstage obviously, and it was like I sat back with the feeling that it was a bad game of Counter-Strike. You know, it was 2 teams who were not playing well. It was a terrible game, you know, but it was entertaining. Obviously, it was close and it was, as you said, back and forth. But it seemed like none of the teams actually like had a great feeling going into that game. They didn't like do any great plays. It was more like they were capitalizing on the other team making a lot of mistakes, and that was like back and forth all the time because both teams made a lot of mistakes. Obviously, a great comeback for EnVyUs. They made the T side work, and that was, I'd say, sort of impressive. But then again, like in the overtime, it was so back and forth again. And like in an overtime, when 2 teams are not playing well, it's I wouldn't say it's random, but it easily gets like it's that 1 or 2 rounds that's gonna decide it all, and it could easily have been Misfits going through here.
I believe we've got some replays of Scream as well in that last map, actually across the whole series,
yeah.
And just the EnVyUs team in general, because although it was across the whole game, maybe, as you say, Jacob, bad Counter-Strike, there was some moments where they pulled off some incredible stuff, especially in that overtime towards the end there. Like, yeah, they were so slick.
And I mean, to be fair, a lot of highlights that you see and a lot of crazy moments are off of the back of the other team making mistakes. That's what allows for, you know, great players to actually take advantage. And you know, in situations we saw time and time again in this series, it's you know, good players taking advantage of opponents' mistakes. But Scream definitely had a very strong start to this series. I think he had something like 34 kills on Cobble, so obviously a massive part as to why they ended up getting through with that 16-14 win. Fell a little bit off towards the end on Train. I think one guy who doesn't necessarily shine on the scoreboard right there, but really set the tone for EnVy on the second half of Train was Happy. Happy had an absolutely abysmal CT side, didn't do anything at all outside of one round where he had a double kill with the Deagle that actually landed them one of these crazy rounds that we talked about. After we got over to the T side, he was way more assertive. He wasn't necessarily playing that lurking role a whole lot. He was actually leading the charge. Every time they would push towards inner side, he would be the front man running through smokes, flashing himself through, and oftentimes finding multiple kills. And if it didn't do that, he would find at least one kill and still put a ton of pressure on the CTs rotating in, because that was one of the issues that the CT side had, like for Misfits on Train, the fact that the rotations didn't really seem to be that great. I mean, they didn't really have the information, because whenever they tried to go for aggressive plays, whether it was on B side or A side, through Ivy or through Dark Walls, they would get shut down immediately. So eventually they started playing very, very passively, and that obviously makes rotations a lot harder to get through, especially when EnVy are that adamant about pushing forward.
Sadly, though, we do have to say goodbye to Misfits now. Coming into this weekend, we were chatting about the fact that this is the first time we've seen this team together as a 5 for a while, having had put backups in and substitutes. How are you guys feeling about that lineup now, and what can they do from here on?
I mean, they showed glimpses of potential. We saw Shazam this game going off again. We saw Amanek playing well again. Like, I was really impressed.
Sick too. Had a pretty good
well,
too. Yeah.
Like, they were all putting up the frags. It was more like the team composition, the team game, the team play, basically, that lacked from both teams. So I'd say, like, the individual level is definitely them Misfits, and we know that because they showed that at DreamHack Tours as well. It's all about, for them, going back home now, get some, like, settle down, basically. You know, they lost their coach, they lost Sean Garris for a wedding for a month, I believe it was. So get back home, maybe take a little break, get back to practice, and then like start working on some of those like team aspects of the game, because there's no doubt that the individual skill is there when you have players like Sick, Shazam, and Amanek.
So, EnVyUs go through to play KPI later today. NRG and Red Reserve are our next game coming up very soon. Thank you guys for your analysis on that match. We'll be back soon to analyze the rest. While we're in the break, you guys can download the Strafe esports app if you'd like. It's a good idea because you can find out everything you want to find out about this tournament and all other esports tournament. If you've got favorite players or favorite teams that you like to keep track of, if you want to find out where they're playing next, you can come to an arena like this and come and watch them, and you can vote as well to see and vote on who you think will win in future competitions. So check that out in the break, and we'll be back very soon with the next best of 3.